Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it. And, well, it's almost the end of the year. So, and what a year it's been. I don't know what was crazier, 2021 or 2020. So many things that have taken place over the course of these past 2 years. And really hoping coming into 2022, it's going to be much better. The bad part of it is that I see is, what you're going to see in fuel costs, what you're going to see in inflation. It's going to be an expensive year. And of course taxes, which is something we talked about. Many of you know I was one of the people who was a big advocate and was hoping that the mayor would agree to take additional funds out of free cash to offset the burden and the increase in taxes based off of inflation. Many homeowners saw a rise of 20% in their home values. And then the couple of counselors, which I believe Morandi and Connell, who are leaving, they're finishing up both of them are finishing up their 5th terms on the council, and new counselors are coming in. Well, they were accused by a couple of the counselors, mainly Earl Persip and Helen Moon and I think Pete White, but I think mainly at-large counselor Earl Persip and Ward 1 counselor Helen Moon, who was also leaving. But they said it was just a show, that they were putting on this show to try to get attention, and people actually gained all this value in their homes, which is absolutely ridiculous because, as I've said many times in many videos now, we know that that massive increase was due to a couple different factors. The housing shortage, and of course inflation, material costs to build new homes, which skyrocketed the existing home market. So some people are already starting to see home values heading the other direction now, coming back down. So did you really build equity in your home like you were told by some of the counselors that you earned all this money? No, you didn't. But anyway, they voted against that. They shamed the counselors who wanted to see that. They said it was, I don't know, just a trick or just for them to put on a show for the taxpayers or something like that, which I completely disagree with. There's a reason that the American Rescue Plan Act exists. There's a reason that the federal government is giving assistance and trying to offset some of the unbelievable burden on the average citizen right now on a national level. So on a local level, would it have been smart to take money out of the free cash, another $1 or $1.5 million to offset that burden? Of course it would have. I know some people, and I won't mention them by name, but one of them, a former city council candidate, said, I don't see the big deal, just $44. Like, what? And the mentality of some people on how they justify continually raising taxes is insane to me. Insane. So anyway, that was a big one that was talked about. Homelessness in the city, another big one. From the whole fiasco in 2020 when the emergency COVID shelter at St. Joe was shut down, and our community development director and the mayor, along with the director of ServiceNet, who was running that shelter, all came out and said nobody was staying there. And then they said that the Diocese of Springfield said they had to get out by August 1st. And of course, none of that wasn't true at all. I don't know where but they created such a disaster, which we saw mainly at one of our parks. It affected the whole city. There's still encampments all over the place. But that particular situation caused a huge fiasco at Springside Park, where it also became a spot where counselors toured it and candidates toured it from a local and state level. And it was so sad what ended up happening. People died in that park, and nothing was really resolved. That was a show for many, and that was sad, very sad. So we're still dealing with that situation. So far with the weather, we've been fairly lucky, but everyone has to remember winter just started less than a week ago. I think 6 days ago or something like that, six or maybe it's a week today, that it officially on the calendar, the winter has started. So who knows what is to come. But it scares me that some of the same people are still living in that park. The city has never really taken the reins on that one and addressed it. That was a big one. That continues. And I'll be back on that. There's just so much. The bullying, the name-calling, the political cliques. I noticed one of the things that I saw in the paper today, is that they talked about how the swearing in and inauguration for our incoming city councilors and incoming school committee would be held at BCC rather than City Hall due to, things going on with this pandemic. And I noticed that the Eagle left out an important councilor's name from that, which was at-large councilor-elect Karen Kalinowski. So I thought, oh boy, here we go. We do know that the mayor herself and many of the Friends of Linda group did not want to see Karen Kalinowski get elected. They didn't want to see Craig Benoit get elected. I have some interesting stuff that was sent to me on that no sense in really getting into depth with that, but we know that, I hope that's not going to be a contentious relationship there, and it just continues. I saw where the mayor did a little bit of an interview with WAMC where they kind of spun it like Councilors Connell and Morandi were out to destroy the mayor or whatever, so I don't know. Playing the victim is always a good thing. You see that a lot in politics all over, and Pittsfield is no exception to that. Another one of the big things that is still on the minds of everybody is North Street. And we haven't had any big snowstorms to see the effect of that. The first snowstorm we had, real one with, I think it was 6 to 8 inches, it took down a bunch of those poles and all that. And even when that was mentioned at one of the city council meetings, Ricardo Morales, who is the Commissioner for Public Works, said, well, I think the cost on those poles was only $25 a piece or something like that. Now, I wonder if that includes labor, installing them. Probably not. But anyway, they're sticking to that plan. They're not going to budge on that. So if you're not happy with that, you've got a little bit of a wait ahead of you, I think. We'll see what happens with that coming into the new year. We have a district attorney's election coming up in 2022 and the sheriff's election in 2022. And hopefully this DA's election coming up is not going to be anything like the last time we saw one, which that was unbelievable. I do know that it looks like there's a few candidates. I am not getting involved in anybody's campaign on this one, but I hope to be doing interviews, so I'll be reaching out to our existing DA when the time is ready. And some of the candidates, there's 2 that I know of already, Robert Sullivan and possibly Judy Knight. She hasn't made it official yet, but she said she's exploring it. So we'll see what happens there, and possibly, from what I hear, more candidates coming forward on that one. As far as the sheriff's race, I've heard that he potentially has a challenger. Sheriff Bowler is so well liked by his staff, by the community, by everybody, and he's done such a fabulous job. I can't personally see any risk of him not being elected, but who knows? We're in the era of character assassination, going after people viciously in any way they can. I hope that doesn't happen, but Sheriff Bowler's a tough guy who's been around a long time, so I'm sure he'll be fine. And like I said, he's such an asset to the county that I can't imagine why we would need to make a change there. So I think if he has decided to run for re-election, and I hope he does, that's great for the community. Really is. So we're lucky to have him. So anyway, the end of the year is quickly approaching. I've had a lot going on. I'm working on the website quite a bit, which I'm trying to get that up. It's a whole new thing, and I'm not really a website designer, so I'm learning as I go. So, but that's going to be really cool if it goes as I intend, and when finished in the next week or 2, that should be very cool. The business tour that I've been doing, I'll pick back up on that right after the first of the year. So If you haven't seen the videos I've already done, there's a lot of them. I can't remember them all by name, but there's ATW Accounting, Designer Consigner Consignment Shop in the Allendale Underground, Kidding Around Consignment, Car Hardware, Pittsfield Rye Bakery, Rick's Store, Diamonds and Fine Jewelry. I feel like I'm missing a couple in there. Oh, Currency Coffee Company. And I have more coming up with New England Dynamark Security. There's a few that I already had booked that I'm going to pick back up with after the first of the year. And if you're a Pittsfield business and you'd like to be featured, just message the page and I'll figure out how to schedule you in. That being said, the fundraiser is still going. Unfortunately, you know, I was also the victim of some of this stuff again, and I hate to use the word victim, but somebody reported my GoFundMe as fraud, so that happened, and I'm in the clear, so I'll be able to get that back up and going again. Typical stuff. My page has been reported, I can't tell you how many times, for political reasons. I used a PCTV clip a year or 2 years ago, and I was reported for copyright infringement on that one. I mean, it's been brutal. They've been fairly lenient on me, so since I've announced, though, that I will be running for mayor in the next election, the attacks are coming. So we know that some of the candidates, we know, as far as I know, our city council president, Peter Marchetti, will also be running for mayor, and there's a couple other I've heard that are possible. Former city councilor John Kroll, and possibly a return of Melissa Mazzio. So John Kroll and Melissa are not, I haven't heard anything definitive on that. They're just rumors, and they very well could be just rumors. Peter Marchetti, I've heard from multiple people that he's definitely running, but again, anything can happen. We're a long way out. That's 2023 for that election. So even with myself, anything could happen. A plane could fall from the sky and hit me on the head. And it's probably be the mayor's husband flying it. But anyway, anything could happen. It's a long way out. So I hope going into this year, there's a little more civility on that council, enough of the vicious attacks, but who knows. And I hope this DA's election coming up is the same. It's more about issues and substance than it is attacking and character assassination and all that. I just feel like there's a chance to have a healthy election, which can only get more people involved and help heal the community. So anyway, that is it for now. I'll have the GoFundMe back up, if not today, tomorrow. I'm just waiting on one more email from GoFundMe to make sure everything's fine there. And I'll put a link up to the website. It's about 60% right now. So that's that. A big thank you also to Rick Simony and his wife. Rick is the owner of Sim's Tavern in Pittsfield. They invited me to their Christmas party. That was very cool. A big thank you to Eric Taylor, the owner of the Proprietors, who invited me to the event they did for the veterans there. That was very cool. Oh, and also, I did an interview 4 or 5 days ago, right before Christmas, with Kaylee Hayes, and she is the Gold Star daughter of Glenn Allison. Glenn was a sergeant who, I believe in the Army, who was killed in action in Iraq in 2003, and his name is attached to a scholarship here, a football scholarship, that benefits, the recipients of it, it benefits, I believe, Taconic, PHS, and Wacona are all eligible for that. So if you haven't checked out that video, please do so, and I'll probably reshare that back to the top of the page. So again, that's it for now. I'll try to get one more video out before for New Year's, and I'm working on a music project with Jay Bolin. Many of you know Jay. I'm really excited about that. Jay's a great guy. So again, that's it for now. Stay tuned. There'll be a bunch coming. So everyone have a safe and happy and healthy end of year.